urgent. Our generation is called upon by virtue of experience, by virtue of technological exposure, by virtue of our energy, to embrace a world where we become policy makers. 20th century, vijana wengi wetu, hata wale ambao walikuwa campus, ilikuwa ni vijana ambao mara nyingi it was a mobilization heavy era. Lakini sasa tuko mahali ambapo tunaangalia vile tuna embrace opportunities na kujisukuma. Ndio maana Your Excellency tunashukuru kwa opportunities kama hizi ambazo zinatusaidia na kututayarisha kuwa viongozi wa taifa na hata kuwa viongozi wa continent yetu katika siku za usoni. Mimi nakushukuru, na challenge hii ambayo ulinipatia tutaendelea kuextend kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wengi zaidi wamepata nafasi ya kujihusisha katika decision making circles katika serikali kwa manufaa ya taifa letu la Kenya. Nikifikia hapo, Your Excellency, naomba nichukue fursa hii nimkaribishe Mheshimiwa Governor wa jimbo la Kakamega, FCPA Fernandez Barasa, aje azungumze nasi, alafu tumkaribishe waziri. Karibu sana Governor.
Asante. Rais wetu wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto, mawaziri wote ambao wamefika siku ya leo, wabunge wote, itifaki zote zikizingatiwa, hamjambo? Vijana hoi! Asante. Kwanza kabisa, Mheshimiwa Rais, niruhusu nitambue viongozi ambao wako hapa, kwa sababu serikali yako hapa Kakamega tuko na viongozi mbalimbali. Kwanza ningeanza kumtambua Vice Chancellor wa Chuo Kikuu cha Masinde Muliro ambaye ako hapa, Professor Solomon Shibairo. Punga mkono Professor. Makofi kwa Professor. Asante. Pia tuko na mwenyekiti wa Chuo Kikuu cha Masinde Muliro ambaye ni Daktari Pamela CTNA. Makofi kwake. Asante. Tuko hapa pia na viongozi mbalimbali, nikianza na mbunge wetu wa Navaholo, Mheshimiwa Emmanuel Wangwe. Makofi kwake. Tuko na Mheshimiwa wa Wisero, Mheshimiwa Christopher Aseka. Makofi kwake. Tuko na mama women rep wetu wa Kakamega, Mheshimiwa Elsie Muhanda. Makofi kwake. Tuko na Mheshimiwa wa Ikolomani, Bernard Shinari. Makofi kwake. Tuko na Mheshimiwa ambaye ndio landlord wetu wa hapa Lurambi, Mheshimiwa Titus Hamala. Makofi kwake. Tuko na Mheshimiwa wa Lugari Nabii Nabwera, anajulikana kama 5G. Makofi kwake. Tuko na Mheshimiwa wa Matungu, Mheshimiwa Peter Oscar Nabulindo. Makofi kwake. Pia tuko na Speaker wetu wa County Assembly ya Kakamega, anaitwa James Namati. Makofi kwake. Mheshimiwa Rais, tuko na ndugu yetu ambaye pia ni mbunge jirani kutoka Nandi. Makofi kwake. Asante. Najua itifaki nyingine waziri wetu wa masuala ya vijana atachukulia pale. Mheshimiwa Rais, kwanza kabisa mimi nachukua fursa hii kukaribisha Kakamega. Vile unajua Kakamega sisi ni mashemeji na tunakupenda sana. Ndiposa vijana leo wamesema lazima siku ya kimataifa ya vijana wajumuike na wewe kusherekea. Makofi kwa Rais. Nashukuru sana pia vile umetenga muda wako kuamua ya kwamba siku ya kimataifa ya vijana utasherekea Kakamega. Na vijana wa Kakamega wamesema ya kwamba watatembea na wewe. tunashukuru sana Mheshimiwa Rais kwa shughuli ambayo unafanya kuhakikisha vijana wetu wamepata ajira, na pia hapa Kakamega pia tunatilia mkazo masuala ya vijana. Tulikuwa hapa na mkutano wa vijana na PS Fikirini mwezi uliopita, na hiyo ndio njia ambayo tumesema ya kwamba lazima tuhusishe vijana katika shughuli ya maendeleo. Tunatambua ya kwamba vijana ndio wengi sana. Over 70% of the Kenyan population ni vijana. Nao ndio uti wa mgongo wa taifa letu. Lazima masuala yetu tutulie vijana katika shughuli zetu. Mheshimiwa Rais, nashukuru sana. Tuko na programs nyingi sana hapa Kakamega ambazo tunashirikiana na serikali yako, ikiwemo kiwanja chetu cha Buhungu Stadium. Ukienda hapo sasa hivi tushaweka carpet ili michezo za Afrika Mashariki ambazo zinaanza siku ya Alhamisi on 14th. Tutakuwa hapa na michezo ya Fiesta for the next 10 days. Tutakaribisha mataifa 8 hapa Kakamega. Na hiyo ni kwa sababu sisi tunatilia mkazo shughuli ya michezo. Mheshimiwa Rais, pia nashukuru sana hiyo kazi ambayo tunashirikiana katika ile program ya level 6. Hivi sasa jeshi wameingia pale. Tumekuwa na PS wako Mheshimiwa Patrick Mariro, na hiyo kazi in the next 6 months itakamilika. Na hiyo ni shughuli ambayo tunahakikisha vijana wetu watafaidika kwa sababu ya ajira itapatikana pale. Na Mheshimiwa Rais, nikimalizia, we want to appreciate you in a special way because you have unlocked what your predecessors failed to do. Mambo ya affordable housing ilikuwa ni kitendawili, but you have unlocked it. Mambo ya universal healthcare, it was a mirage during the previous administration. You have unlocked it. Mambo ya kuandaa michuano ya CHAN na African Cup of Nations, na kumbuka mwaka 2018 we were supposed to host AFCON in Kenya, but we could not be ready. But because of your leadership, right now we are hosting CHAN, na pia najua mwaka 2027 we are going to host African Cup of Nations. Mheshimiwa Rais, jambo ambalo umefanya to unlock the potential of our Harambee Stars cannot go unnoticed. Tuko na talanta kwa vijana wetu. What was missing was that special recognition and motivation. Hivi sasa vijana wa Harambee Stars wakipiga mtu wanajua 1 million mengia. Na hiyo ni kazi ambayo sisi tunashukuru kwa sababu it has never happened before. Ndiposa vijana wa Kakamega wanasema watatembea na rais mwaka 2027 kwa sababu rais wetu ni rais ambaye tunakusema na kutenda. Ningependa kuuliza vijana wa Kakamega, mko tayari? Mko tayari kutembea na rais? Kufanya maendeleo? Kuleta stima? Kujenga Buhungu? Kujenga hospitali? Wacha nione wale ambao watatembea na rais. Mwisho nikisema harambee mnasema tutam. Harambee! Harambee! William Ruto, rais wetu, italanyi. Asanteni sana. Vijana wamesema watatembea na wewe bako kwa bako kwa sababu umeonyesha kwamba wewe ni rais wa kusema na kutenda. Mheshimiwa Rais, niruhusu sasa nimkaribishe waziri wa masuala ya vijana ambaye ni Mheshimiwa Salim Mvurya ili aweze kuendeleza program. Makofi kwa rais. Makofi kwa Mheshimiwa Mvurya ambaye alikuwa governor wa Kwale, sasa ni waziri. Makofi kwake. Karibu sana waziri.
Asante sana mustahiki gavana. Mheshimiwa Rais Daktari William Samoei Ruto, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, waziri mwenzangu Mheshimiwa Wycliffe Ambesa Oparanya, makatibu, waheshimiwa wajumbe, viongozi wa vijana, mabibi na mabwana na vijana wetu, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Asalamu alaikum. Vijana hamjambo? Vijana hoye! Vijana power! Basi Mheshimiwa Rais, pengine kabla sijazungumza hotuba fupi, naomba nimwalike mwenzangu Mheshimiwa Oparanya ambaye hapa ni nyumbani aweze kusalimia na kuzungumza kwa kifupi.
Vijana oye! Naona vijana mmekuja kwa wingi. Mheshimiwa Rais, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Mheshimiwa William Ruto, my colleague Cabinet Secretary, the Governor of Kakamega County, members of Parliament who are here, permanent secretaries, ladies and gentlemen. Mheshimiwa, hapa ni nyumbani. Ikiwa nyumbani, nataka nichukue nafasi hii pia kukukaribisha hapa Kakamega. Tuna furaha umepata wakati wa kuja hapa kuongea na vijana wetu wa Kakamega na Kenya kwa jumla kwa hii siku ya muhimu kabisa katika duniani. Mimi mwenyewe ninashukuru wewe binafsi ile kazi unafanya kuona ya kwamba vijana wetu wana kitu ya kufanya. Tuna shida mingi, lakini wewe ukiwa rais unafanya juhudi yako kuona ya kwamba tuko na mahali ya vijana wetu. I want to appreciate that, and to the young people who are here. This is an opportunity for you. Take the opportunity that comes your way very seriously, because it will never come again. Being a youth is a transition. You have 17 years to transit from youthful to the other age bracket. And this is your time to build your foundation as you transit as a youth. There are so many opportunities in government, many opportunities that the President has created for the youthful people. So take it seriously, and if you take it seriously, it will help you as a person, it will help you as a community, and it will help us as a country. Otherwise, I'm very grateful for Your Excellency coming. Asante sana.
Asante sana waziri. Vijana hoye! Vijana hoye! Basi Mheshimiwa Rais, mabibi na mabwana, leo ni siku muhimu sana. Nataka kwanza nianze kukushukuru Mheshimiwa Rais kwa sababu ya muda wako kuweza kujumuika na vijana wa Kenya katika kuadhimisha kilele cha siku ya vijana ya kimataifa. Na pia tuwashukuru uongozi wa chuo hiki cha Masinde Muliro kwa kuwa wazi wakati wote. Wakati tunaandaa mikutano ya vijana, usimamizi wa chuo hiki umekuwa wazi kuweza kuwaunga mkono vijana wa Kenya ili kuweza kuhakikisha tunapata nafasi ya kuweza kuzungumza na kushirikiana. Mheshimiwa Rais, niseme kwamba wewe mwenyewe binafsi kwa uongozi wako na katika mpango wako wa kitaifa umeweza kuweka fursa nyingi ambazo zinawalenga vijana wetu. Tukielewa kwamba masuala mengi ya vijana sio mapya, yamekuweko hapo awali, lakini Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa sababu ya fursa nyingi ambazo umeziweka ndani ya serikali, umeweza kutuongoza katika Kenya kuweza kuwa na ubunifu wa suluhisho ya masuala na changamoto za vijana. Mheshimiwa Rais, wakati tuko hapa kwa kilele ya shughuli hii, mimi naomba tu kukuhakikishia kwamba wiki hii yote imekuwa wiki ya hamasa Kenya nzima. Kwa sababu wakati ambao serikali imebuni fursa, ni muhimu hiyo fursa iunganishwe na ndoto ya vijana. Kwa hivyo, what we are saying, Your Excellency, is that your leadership has been able to create and to innovate various strategic opportunities for the young people of our country. We are aware that most of the challenges that our young people have been facing are historical. Your leadership has created an enabling environment to provide strategic solutions and opportunities for the youth of our country. However, for those opportunities to be beneficial, we need to have proactivity within the youth population so that they can proactively connect with the opportunities that exist. And that is why, Your Excellency, this week has been very important for us, because we have provided a window of opportunity for interaction and to connect the young people of our country. As a ministry, Your Excellency, we had also innovatively started a program called Iwazo, where we bring summit of youth and stakeholders of government and agencies to be able to communicate what opportunities exist within the agencies so that youth can make their connection. Your Excellency, the youth of our country are very progressive, they are very transformative, and for us, we don't view them as a crisis, but we view them as people who are creative, innovative, and they can really participate in building our country. And as we do that, Your Excellency, we know that the government has many opportunities, which some of them will be discussed here. Some of them have already been discussed as case studies, and as a ministry, we commit to ensure that we work to be more inclusive, so that even as we develop policies, legislation, we have youth participation at the center of all that we do in government. And therefore, Your Excellency, today is a very important day internationally, but it is also a day where we inspire action within the young people of our country. Mwisho, Your Excellency, nataka tu kusema kwamba wakati ambao vijana wetu wako na ndoto, wakati ambao vijana wetu wako na azma ya kuweza kutimiza ndoto zao za kimaisha, wakiwa binafsi, wakiwa family, wakiwa jamii, wakiwa kila sehemu ya nchi, ni muhimu kukumbuka kwamba wakati ndoto hizi tunaweza kuzitimiza tukiwa vijana, tunazitimiza tukiwa na taifa la Kenya ambalo limeungana, taifa la Kenya lenye amani, taifa la Kenya lenye miundo msingi ya kuweza kuheshimu sheria. Ni katika mazingira hayo ndio vijana wanaweza kufaulu. Haiwezekani kwa mtu yoyote kufaulu kwa ndoto zake za kimaisha katika mazingira ya fujo, katika mazingira ya kejeli, katika mazingira ambayo pia hayawezi kuruhusu sheria ya Kenya. Kwa hivyo tunavyoenda mbele, tunataka kusema kwamba fursa zitakuweko, fursa zitaendelea, vijana watashirikishwa, vijana tutazidi kuzungumza, lakini la msingi tuwe na nafasi ya kuwa na Kenya iliyo na amani, tuwe na nafasi ya Kenya ambayo inaweza kupata heshima katika dunia na katika Afrika. Na Mheshimiwa Rais, uongozi wako umeonyesha dhahiri kwamba sio tu mazungumzo ya changamoto na shida za vijana, lakini mazungumzo ya kupata suluhu. Suluhu zingine zinaweza kuwa zitachangiwa na vijana wenyewe. Suluhu zingine zitakuwa za ubunifu. Na ndio maana Mheshimiwa Rais, uongozi wako kutoka nchi yetu iweze kujinyakulia uhuru, umeleta uongozi ambao una ubunifu katika kusuluhisha changamoto za Wakenya. Ni muhimu sasa Wakenya wote tuweze kukuunga mkono, tuweze kuunga mkono rais wetu, ili wakati anakuwa mbunifu kusuluhisha matatizo ya maendeleo na ya kijamii staafu. Hiyo inamaanisha ujana ni mpito. Kwa hivyo wakati unapata nafasi ya kuwa kijana sasa, itumie nafasi hiyo vizuri, kwa sababu dunia hii imejaa watu walio na umbea na fitina. Imejaa wengine ambao wakati ndoto yake haitimii, anatafuta kijana ili amsaidie kutimiza ndoto yake. Hata nimeona saa nyingine wanasiasa wanakosa dira, wanakosa mtandao, sasa wao wanatumia vijana kulete fujo. Nyinyi vijana mjue kwamba wakati unatumiwa na mwanasiasa au mwingine yoyote kuleta fujo, ujue wewe hautafuti ndoto yako katika fujo. Wewe unamsaidia mwingine kutafuta ndoto yake. Those people who incite our youth to violence, most of them have already arrived at their career. They have already arrived at their destination. Let us not allow the energy of young people, the innovation of young people, to be used by few people to create divisions among our country, to create disharmony, to create violence, because in an environment of violence, we cannot have prosperity. We cannot have our youth to realize their potential in an environment where there's lawlessness, in an environment where violence is encouraged. And therefore, Your Excellency, as a ministry, we are ready to engage the youth. We are ready to ensure we inspire them, we mentor them, we develop their talents, we connect them with opportunities, but the foundation is an environment of peaceful coexistence. And therefore, Your Excellency, I don't want to say much, but I want to take this opportunity to ask all of us to be upstanding as we invite here His Excellency the President to speak and engage the youth. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa Rais. Karibu sana.
Asanteni sana, tafadhali mnaweza keti chini. Thank you very much. Ndugu zangu viongozi na viongozi pia wa vijana, hamjambo? Kakamega murembe, muri mwoyo? Wananchi wa Kenya, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Assalamu alaikum. Leo mimi nimefurahi sana kufika mji huu wa Kakamega. Nimshukuru Vice Chancellor wetu wa chuo cha Masinde Muliro kwa kutukaribisha hapa. Mpigeni makofi, yuko pale. Niwashukuru pia wizara yetu wakiungana na county government ya hapa Kakamega kwa kupanga hafla hii, a very important occasion for us as a nation, that we are very proud of our young people, their knowledge, their energy, their innovation, their expertise. And today we come here to celebrate the International Young People's Day. The single most decisive force that will shape Kenya's destiny is not oil, is not gold, or any other natural resource. It is the young people. For generations, young people have been referred to the leaders of tomorrow. But our youth are the builders of today, the architects of the future, and the driving engine powering Kenya's rise to greatness. I have seen it in many places. I have seen it with the Harambee Stars. That is why I am deeply honored to be here in Kakamega County to celebrate the energy, the creativity, and the resilience of our young people, and to harness and amplify their immense contribution to our bold national transformation agenda. Our Constitution commands us to equip young people with relevant education and training, to guarantee them opportunities for association and representation, to open doors for their political, social, economic, and cultural participation, and to protect them from harmful practices and exploitation. Every year, nearly 800,000 young people enter the labor market. For too long, many have faced and continue to face the frustration of limited opportunities. That is why we have crafted a bold, multi-pronged strategy, not only to generate jobs, but also to equip our young people with competitive, future-ready skills and ensure they thrive in the economy of the 21st century. Ladies and gentlemen, technical and vocational education and training is a central pillar of our economic transformation. TVET graduates are 3 times more likely than their peers without technical training to start a micro or small enterprise within 2 years of graduation. This is why we are aligning TVET curriculum with industry needs and modernizing equipment and expanding public-private partnership for apprenticeship and job placement. In 2018, TVET enrollment stood at about 180,000 learners. Today, TVET enrollment is upwards of 700,000, supported by the expansion of institutions from just about 50 a decade ago to more than 250 nationwide today. Through the National Government Apprenticeship Opportunities Program, we aim to enroll from 700 to 2 million youth in TVET institutions by the end of 2025, meeting the projected annual demand for 300,000 additional skilled workers and bridging the skills gap that is currently at 40% in some technical sectors. We have also deliberately chosen housing as one of the main engines of job creation in Kenya today. Currently, over 161,000 housing units are under construction across the country, part of a 700,000 home pipeline that will generate more than 1 million jobs. Here in Kakamega, right here in town, we have 200 units complete, 2,000 units have been procured, another 2,000 units in Mumias, and another several units in different constituencies in Kakamega County, a total of 5,000 units we are building in Kakamega County. About 320,000 young people are already working in affordable housing program, with numbers set to double in the next 2 months. I have said that in the next 2 months, we want to escalate the number of young people, whether they are electricians, technicians, plumbers, engineers, quantity surveyors, architects. We want to increase them to 640,000 in the next 2 months. We have already advertised 4,000 internship positions for young professionals that are coming out of universities and our TVET institutions through the Public Service Commission. We will engage architects, engineers, surveyors, IT specialists, marketers, and other specialists, placing them in housing projects and municipalities across Kenya. Our goal is to expand these opportunities so that by January next year, in the next 6 months or so, 10,000 interns will have been placed in affordable housing program where they will gain skills, build networks, and acquire the experience needed to launch their careers. Through Climate Works program, we are advancing both economic and climate resilience by implementing labor-intensive environmental projects, restoring ecosystems through tree planting, cleaning rivers, and greening public spaces. Beyond the environment, Climate Works also drives jobs in roads and housing construction and urban development. We began with Nairobi-based cohort, and I am especially very proud that 45,000 young people are spearheading the Nairobi River regeneration, transforming riparian into clean, green corridors. This initiative is now being rolled out across the country through an expanded roadworks program, which will soon grow to 113,000 young people, including 4,000 in Kakamega County. Similarly, the Kandarasi Mtaani initiative will employ another 200,000 more young people in labor-intensive works in housing and market projects, including our hostels development program across the country. This will also include boundary walls, laying cabro roads, and installing wastewater treatment plants, equipping participants with both income and skills. Ladies and gentlemen, the Financial Inclusion Fund, commonly known as the Hustler Fund, has emerged as one of the most transformative financial inclusion initiatives in Kenya's history, with a direct and profound impact on our young people. Its sheer scale has been unprecedented, with over 26 million Kenyans accessing the fund, making it the single largest program of its kind. Of this, 9 million are repeat borrowers, a powerful indicator of sustained trust and tangible benefits. The fund has so far disbursed 72 billion and mobilized 5 billion shillings in savings. One of the most significant outcomes has been credit empowerment. Through the Hustler Fund, 5 million beneficiaries have improved their credit scores, a game-changing development for young people who previously had no credit history or had been blacklisted in CRB. Many are now eligible for larger credit-rated loans of up to 150,000, enabling them to invest in stocks, equipment, or business expansion. We are also committed to promoting orderly labor mobility through our global labor mobility strategy, ensuring Kenyans can take up jobs abroad in safe and decent conditions. Over the past 2.5 years, 430,000 Kenyans have secured employment overseas through the Kazi Maju program. We are negotiating bilateral labor agreements with various governments to safeguard our workers and align their skills with high-demand markets. Through the WESO Fund, we are financing air tickets, visas, and settlement costs for Kenyan youth taking up jobs abroad. In this pilot phase, Kenya shillings 200 million has been already provided and already supports 225 young people. Equally, over the past year, the Youth Enterprise Fund has provided mobility-ready support, including pre-departure training, certification assistance, and financial literacy to prepare our young people for international employment and successful reintegration. And the Youth Fund has disbursed 244 million, enabling 2,271 young people to secure jobs in various countries abroad. Today, I will be presenting checks worth 163 million to support a further 816 young people who have successfully secured jobs through the labor mobility program so that they can prepare themselves to travel and work abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kenya Youth Employment Opportunities Project was a 5-year World Bank funded government initiative implemented between 2018 and 2023 to increase employment and income-generating opportunities for young people across the country. The project directly reached over 310,000 beneficiaries and facilitated the development of 50 new trade testing standards. Many of these young people have gone on to create jobs and earn sustainable incomes through enterprise establishment with the project's support. Building on this success, the successor initiative that we have now rolled out, the National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement project, commonly called NYOTA, has rolled out Cycle 2 for business support in all counties, attracting over 1 million applications by close of the application period on 15th of May 2025. NYOTA aims to enhance youth employability, expand access to employment, promote savings, and strengthen youth employment systems and project management. Its implementation and interventions include training 600,000 young people to access government procurement opportunities, commonly known as ACBO, providing 110,000 young people, entrepreneurs with business development services, market linkages, mentorship, and financial support. NYOTA is enrolling 90,000 young people in on-the-job training, with applications currently open through the *254# financial inclusion platform until Friday, August 15th, which is coming Friday. We will also certify 20,000 through the recognition of prior learning framework and help 190,000 young people join the NSSF Haba kwa Haba savings scheme. In every ward across Kenya, and I want you to listen to this carefully, 70 young entrepreneurs, 110,000 in total, will each receive a grant of 50,000 shillings in startup capital under this program. I am pleased to report that the first phase of 54,000 young people will receive their 50,000 business startup capital next month, paving the way for their skills training to commence at the same month. Our Kenya Jobs and Economic Transformation Project, worth 20 billion, is also poised to support 42,000 enterprises, 600 business clusters, providing financing and facilities to scale up youth-led ventures. The Center for Enterprise, in partnership with Germany, will train young people in high-value industries at 6 special economic zones that are under construction. To further support youth-led enterprises, we shall, before the end of this financial year, launch the Youth Enterprise Investment Bank, capitalized at 9.75 billion, to provide financing, credit guarantees, and capacity building for young people in enterprise. On the digital front, our digital superhighway agenda has reshaped Kenya's economy, placing technology, innovation, and youth at its core. We have expanded digital infrastructure by over 24,000 kilometers of fiber, linking urban centers to remote villages. In 2022, public Wi-Fi hotspots were rare. Today, 1,494 free public access points empower traders, students, and innovators across Kenya. Through the completion of the 316 digital hubs and the ongoing construction of 404 more ICT hubs, we are equipping young Kenyans with the skills to thrive in a rapidly changing world with digital jobs. Over 1.9 million youth have been trained in digital literacy, with nearly 300,000 securing digital jobs across through Ajira, Jitume, and BPO services. Ladies and gentlemen, These programs form the engine of a youth-powered economy. They are the pipelines of opportunity and demonstrate our unwavering belief that when our youth rise, Kenya rises. With determination, hard work, and focus, we can indeed realize our overarching objective of creating at least 1.2 million jobs. Let me stop here because I want an engagement with the young people. I did ask the organizers that maybe we should have a fireside chat here, or maybe an engagement, because I want to listen to some of the young people in this audience have to say. And I want to answer some of their pressing questions. And I want to engage so that we can take our country forward. We want to have an informed conversation. You know, we do not want to engage in rumors, in propaganda, in fake news, in distorted issues. We want to engage on matters that are important to the young people of our nation. Because I have said before, and I will repeat again, as a country, our greatest asset, the biggest asset we have in Kenya, is our human capital. And that human capital, the biggest portion of that human capital is the young people of our nation. If we are to succeed as a country, we can only succeed if we bring on board the largest sector of our society, the people with the energy, with the innovation, with the talents, with the expertise, with the knowledge, the young people of our nation. If we bring them into the equation, and if they influence how we go forward, we will succeed as a nation. And that is my mission, to make sure that we put the young people of our country at the center of our planning, of our policy, of our legislation, of our progress. That is how we are going to succeed as a country. And this moment, this day, the International Youth Day, provides us with that opportunity for us to engage with the young people of our nation. And I am looking forward to that engagement so that I can explain to you what we are doing. You can ask me the questions on what we are doing so that we can have an engagement that is mutually beneficial, both to you as the young people of our nation and to us as the leadership of our country. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Tumpongeze Rais tafadhali kwa makofi.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency, for this opportunity. Vijana mko? Nataka nione vijana power. Asante sana. So, Mheshimiwa Rais ameamua kutupanga. Amesema sasa mara nyingi nyinyi mmesikia wadosi wakisema kwenu. Sasa leo anataka nyinyi nanyi mseme na yeye. I should start. Yeah.
Let me start so that you know what I want us to discuss about, and you can ask me whatever questions you have. Are we together? Muko tayari na maswali? Let me start. Let me say the following. Today is International Youth Day. Siku ya vijana. The United Nations set aside this day so that we can celebrate the young people globally. And we use this occasion to celebrate the young people in Kenya. And let me say that, as I said in my statement, the single most important asset that we have as a nation is the young people. The single most important asset is our human capital. It is much more important than any resource that we have. It is more important than gold. It's more important than all the things we can do. That is why, intentionally, I have decided that we are going to invest sufficient resources in making sure that we develop our human capital. How so? You know, if our human capital is the most important asset that we have, we must sharpen it. We must have proper knowledge. We must empower our human capital through knowledge, through training, and through skills development. And that is the reason why the first assignment that I took into consideration when I was elected president is to make sure that I sort out education in Kenya. You remember when we were campaigning, many people were asking why we should continue with CBC. Many were saying CBC should be abolished. Many were saying our universities, in fact, they were not saying. The reality is that our universities were struggling, including Masinde Muliro, because of the funding model that we had that time. And therefore, it was necessary for us to organize education. Why did I take up that responsibility? Because it's a very difficult responsibility. Because dealing with children, dealing with parents is not a very easy thing. In fact, I was told by my predecessor that this one is very difficult. And that is why many people did not want to touch reform in the education sector. But I had the option of doing nothing about our education sector because it is difficult. But I also had the other option of doing something about it. Maybe difficult, but getting it right. And I chose the latter. That's why I put together a task force led by Professor Munavu, put our education experts together, and they came up with a plan that we have implemented. In that plan, we have sorted out our CBC challenges. We have sorted out the transition from ECD to primary school, to junior school, to senior school, and now to university. The pathway is now clear for all parents. It was also necessary to close the gap on teacher employment. If there are representatives of NAT here, they will tell you we had a gap of 116,000 teachers that were not in class. It is the reason why by January next year, we will have hired 100,000 teachers. We will be remaining only with 16,000 because I made a commitment to Kenya that I will close the gap on teacher enrollment. And number 3, we changed, on recommendation of the task force, the funding model. Today I've had an engagement with Vice Chancellor here. And Vice Chancellor confirms to me that the new student-centered model is working for him. He can pay his staff, he can pay his bills or his suppliers, and he can run courses in the university, unlike the difficulties we had under the old under the old model. So I wanted to sort out education. Why? Because unless we sort out education, we will not be able to sufficiently empower young people and our human capital to be able to deliver for Kenya. So that's number 1. Number 2, it was necessary, as we spend money in primary school, secondary school, TVETs, and universities. And by the way, just to give you numbers, we are spending 650 billion Kenya shillings every year in educating our population, from primary school to university. 650, 30% of our budget goes to education. I took up the responsibility and said, it is not right for us to spend 30% of our resources, 650 billion, every year to educate our children, yet we don't have a plan on what happens when they finish school. The same way we have a plan on making sure all our children go to school, we should also have a plan on what they do when they come out of school. And for the first time, we developed a deliberate, intentional plan on how to engage the young people of our nation in deliberate government programs supported by the private sector so that we can create opportunities for young people. Because the single biggest problem with young people, if you ask them, is employment. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Tatizo ya vijana ya Kenya ni kukosekana kwa ajira. Na sababu hiyo ndio tukasema lazima tuwe na mpango makususi ama mahasusi ama mpango makusudi. You know? Deliberate. Kwa Kiswahili nasema makusudi. You know? Intentional. Mpango makusudi. Intentional plan ya kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wanapata ajira. And I want to give you, young people, and I want you to listen to me carefully so that you can ask me questions. We have seven deliberate programs for young people to be engaged. Number 1, the reason why we rolled out our housing program was yes, we needed houses. Yes, we needed markets. Yes, we needed hostels. And we are building 160 housing units with a pipeline of 700,000. We are building 400 markets across Kenya, and we are building hostels for 170,000 students, including hostels in this Masinde Muliro, which we will start next month. I have discussed with the Vice Chancellor here. We will be doing the first 1,200 a hostel block here in Kakamega beginning next month. We have agreed with the Vice Chancellor. And we are doing it in many TVET institutions across Kenya. But the most important part of that program is the jobs that program creates. So the program of housing is more about creating jobs than doing the rest of the things that it is going to do. And let me give you the numbers. Today, as I talk to you, you heard in my statement, we have 320,000 young people working in the housing program. We're going to scale it up to 640,000 in another 2 months. And our target is to have 1 million jobs, 1 million young people every year working in our housing program. We have already advertised for 4,000 skilled professionals from universities and from TVETs who will supervise that program. We will scale it up to 10,000 by January so that they can supervise the work that we are doing in that space. So it is about jobs. It is about charging our economy. The whole construction industry will create additional jobs. The whole supply chain of cement, steel, Juakali sector, producing doors, hinges, windows, and everything else they are producing. So it's about jobs. We have never had a deliberate plan to create jobs in Kenya because we didn't gather the courage to implement housing. Now we have. It's going on. Number two, we have deliberately realigned and reorganized what we call labor mobility. That space had many crooked people. So many people were being exploited. So many people ended up in foreign countries and they were abused. Many of them sexually abused, many of them done things. We have organized that space under the National Employment Authority. I gave deliberate instructions. I sat on it for at least 2 months to straighten it up. Mama Edith is here. She's now the CEO of that organization. And through that organization, we have also signed under our Kazi Maju program when I appointed deliberately a principal secretary to take charge of our diaspora issues and to manage relations between Kenya and other countries. We are signing bilateral labor agreements with them. And today, I can tell you, as I have said here, in the last 2.5 years, 430,000 Kenyans have gone abroad to work. Some of them have come back. Some of them are on the way. 816, I will be giving them a check of 163 million today so that they can finance their way to jobs abroad. And I want to say this with clarity. The statistics we have, and I have told you we have the best human capital anywhere in the world. If there is a job opportunity in any company in the world, and the contest is between a Kenyan and another person from another country, the Kenyan has the first opportunity. Because we speak very good English, and our education is the best. So we have the best human capital, and we must take advantage of it. We must use it to grow our country. And because of the labor mobility program, our diaspora remittance in the last 2.5 years has increased from $4 billion to $4.95 billion. Our diaspora remittance is the single largest foreign exchange earner for our country because of the young people, because of the people of Kenya who work outside our country. And that is why I took it as one of the places where it needs government to organize. I have now sufficiently organized that sector, and I can confirm to you that any Kenyan who is now going to work abroad, we know where they are going to work, what job they are going to do, how much they are going to earn, and how we are going to support them when they run into trouble in those countries. The days when Kenyans suffered outside Kenya without any government support are behind us because we now have an organized system. That is project number 2. Project number 3 is our program that I told you about on matters to do with digital jobs. We have already 330 ICT hubs ready. We have another 400 under construction. We have signed on with many BPO countries, including Teleperformer, which is the largest BPO organization in the world. They have now set up in Kenya. And we now have 180,000 young people working on the digital job ecosystem, either in our TVETs or in our ICT hubs or in our Jitume labs, because we want to create opportunities for Kenyans to work in foreign companies but working from home. Number 4 is what I want to tell you now here. We have the program of Nyota. Na nataka munisikize sasa kwa makini. And kama uko na simu, uanze kujipanga hapo kwa simu. The Nyota program is supposed to do another 4 of our programs. Number 1, there are many young people who are Form 4 graduates. They do not have any skill. They have not had an opportunity to go to any TVET or to go to any polytechnic. They don't have any skill. We are looking for 90,000 young people as phase 1 to train them. And as we train them, we are also going to pay them a small stipend. We are going to train them for 1 year. Vijana nataka mnisikize vizuri. Enda hapo kwa *254 hash. Enda kwa Nyota. I repeat. *254 hash. Network hakuna hapa leo. Nafikiri wale watu, kuna watu wangu hapa wanazoea kuzima network. Wapi wale watu? Wewe. Iko imekuja. Haya. Tunaelewana? Imekuja bado? Imekuja? Very good. So they will just organize it just now. So tufanye hivi. So pale already, nataka munisikize, already 160,000 young people have applied. Yeah? But there is still an opportunity for you to apply. These 90,000 young people who have no skills, and these are young people between the ages of 18 and 29. Yeah? And if you are disabled or you are in the marginalized, up to 35. We want to equip you with skills. You're going to work under a mastercraft. We are going to equip you with skills. If you have no skills, we're going to make sure that you can go home and come back every day. We will pay for your going home and coming back for 6 months. We will bring NITA to come and assess you. Then we will give you a certificate that you have been certified on this or that or the other skill. And then we are also going to give you another 6 months of apprenticeship. We're going to assign you to a job where you can learn on the job, where you can be working and improving your skills for another 6 months. And in those 6 months, we will also be paying you stipend to go home, come back, and make sure that you learn that skill. That is component number 1. Mnanisikia nyinyi vijana? Component number 2 kwa hiyo program. Kuna vijana wengi ambao tayari wamelearn skills, lakini hawana certificate yeyote. You know how to you know, for example, you are a mechanic, you are trained, or you are a plumber, you have done it, or you are an electrician, you've done it, or you are a carpenter, you have done it, but you don't have any paper to show that you have a skill. We are looking for 20,000 of such people, again, on that platform, *254 hash. We are going to assess you. We're going to take you through a short course of 1 month. We're going to assess you, and we are going to give you a certificate and that certificate will be paid for by the government of Kenya, and then we can now point you to opportunities that are there for you to work now that you have a paper and now that you have certification. And that certificate will also allow you to now move to the next training level. So you have an opportunity to train at the next level, but you also have an opportunity now to be hired because you have a document to show that you have a certain skill. So 20,000 young people from Kenya apply, we are ready for you, and that program is on the roll. Number 3, we have young entrepreneurs, wafanyabiashara vijana. Tunatafuta wafanyabiashara vijana 100,000, 100,000. Tayari nyinyi mnajua kwa hiyo mtandao ya *254# mumejiandikisha. Tayari vijana 1,000,000 wamejiandikisha kwa hiyo platform. We are looking for 100,000. Lakini tayari 1,000,000 wamejiandikisha. Kumaanisha we have a big pool of young people, young entrepreneurs that need support. So the first phase, as I told you, those 100,000, they are now going through the selection. Next month, with Waziri Oparanya here and Waziri Mvurya, we are going to start phase 1, the first cohort of 54,000 young people. Each of them, we are going to give them 50,000 shillings, not loan, but grant ya kuendesha biashara yao. And then we will do the next cohort and the next cohort. Tukimaliza 100,000, tutaketi chini tuone what is the future of this program. Ninyi mnanielewa? So vijana, there is business support where we are going to assist you with business literacy. We are going to give you capital of 50,000. We are going to link you to financial institutions, and we are going to provide mentorship for you so that we can have youth-led businesses, youth-led enterprises, and we want to make it deliberate as government of Kenya. I told you that for us to move forward, it must be deliberate, it must be intentional. Hatuwezi kusema tu vijana watapata kazi. Lazima tujiulize watapata kazi wapi, na ni kazi gani, na watasaidika vipi. Those are the questions we are answering as government. Number 4 on that program is assisting you with digital knowledge, financial literacy, so that you can apply for government procurement opportunities. You know that 30% of all government procurement in the national government and in the counties are supposed to be reserved for young people, women, and people with disability. But unfortunately, those opportunities young people don't get. And that is the reason why we are providing now money to train young people on how to get those opportunities, number 1. Number 2, to provide a marketplace for you to identify where is the opportunity. And number 3, we are going to provide 1 billion shillings as a catalytic fund so that young people can access government procurement opportunities. Again, we are looking for 600,000 young people so that we can mentor them, we can train them, and we can give them catalytic financing for them to access government procurement opportunities at the national and at the county level. Bado tuko pamoja ama? Bado tuko pamoja? Let me tell you number 8. What we are doing in that space is the famous, mulikuwa mnajua zamani kulikuwa na kazi ilikuwa inaitwa kazi mtaani, si ndio? Sasa tumebadilisha jina, tunaita climate works. Sasa hiyo mpango itakuja tayari pale Nairobi, tuko na vijana 1045 wanafanya kazi. Sasa tunataka kuleta hiyo program ije mashinani. Kila county, mmesikia hapa Kakamega tutakuwa na vijana 4,000 watakaofanya kazi katika hiyo mpango ambayo ilikuwa inaitwa kazi mtaani, lakini sasa tumeipangia vizuri. Watakuwa wanatusaidia kwa mambo ya barabara, watatusaidia kwa mambo ya greening public spaces na mambo mengine, and that program is beginning again next month because there were a bit of reorganization that was necessary. Tunaelewana vijana wa Kenya? So mimi nataka niwaeleze vijana ya kwamba nafasi haiwezi kuja kukutafuta nyumbani. Lazima wewe ujitume. Bwana. Lazima ujitume. Si ndio? Nyinyi mmesikia mimi nikisema hapa Kakamega tuko na mpango ya affordable housing. Pale kuna nafasi ya ajira. Hapa tutaanza kujenga hostel, kutakuwa na nafasi ya ajira. Kakamega hii tunajenga soko 27, pale kuna ajira. Kakamega hii na Kenya mzima tuko na ICT hub, tuko na Jitume labs, tuko na PPO sectors, pale kuna ajira. Tumewaeleza kama wewe ni kijana hauna skills yoyote, tuko tayari kukusaidia kupatia wewe skills at our cost, so that, and we can also give you certification so that you can become more employable. All these programs are for the young people of our country, and we want every young people to have the correct, every young person to have the correct information, so that you can engage with the opportunities that are there for you. Na vile nimesema, lazima pia ujitume. Look for those opportunities. Hustle these members of parliament. Hustle your MCAs. Hustle everybody looking for those opportunities, because that is how we are going to get young people contributing meaningfully to the development and the progress of our nation. I wanted to say this as an outline of the programs we have, and as a deliberate program that has never been done by any administration, because we must be deliberate about creating opportunities and creating pathways for young people to access opportunities to train, opportunities to work, opportunities to be employed, opportunities to do enterprise. Asante sana. I'm ready for your questions.
Tumpigie makofi Mheshimiwa Rais. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for that candid, succinct, elaborate presentation. A very deliberate presentation to the young people of Kenya. Sasa, kabla nichukue maswali ya vijana wa Kenya, other than yourself, Your Excellency, and the Governor, we have two other panelists. I will allow them the privilege to say their names and the organization they present, please.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much, the audience and all the guests that are around. I'm David Msongori. I come from Taita Taveta County. I represent all the universities and colleges students in Kenya and abroad. And our national body we call the Association of County Students Association Presidents Kenya, where in every county we have a president who is part of our member. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for this opportunity. My name is Sela Naswakombo. I am a youth from Bungoma County, and I'm glad to be here to speak on behalf of the youth of Bungoma and of Kenya at large. Thank you.
Thank you. Asanteni sana. Sasa nataka nichukue fursa hii. Tayari naona mikono imeinuliwa kabla hata tutoe nafasi. Sawa. Tutawapa nafasi. Mheshimiwa Rais yuko na time na nyinyi leo. Leo ni siku yenu. naomba tupate kijana wa Kakamega County atufungulie na swali. Kijana, tafadhali sema jina lako, mahali unatoka, alafu ulize swali. Hiyo inaweza kugharimu dakika moja tu peke yake.
Asante sana. Thank you, Excellency, for the elaborate conversation. My name is Conrad Kea. I come from Navaholo. I'm the convener of Coalition of Youth for Devolution. And I want to thank you, Excellency, for the work you're doing for the youth of Kenya. Na swali langu kaswa ni you have been very elaborate, especially on the program of the housing and how it's creating jobs. And I want to appreciate that that is a very good strategy. However, my question is, for professionals who are not in that field, like yourself and myself who did actuarial science, what is the plan of the government to ensure that we do not leave behind professionals that do not, are not in the building sector, but can still benefit from the government programs? And I invite you in October for Youth Devolution Festival. Asante.
Asante, Kea from Navakolo. Nafikiri baada ya kusikia swali, tutarudi kwenu. Tutarudi kwenu. Sawa, that lady alikuwa anasema maneno ya agenda. Yes.
Thank you so much, His Excellency. My name is Silva Julie Malaho from Bungoma County. I'm here to ask a question. As a government, you're not able to reach out to all places. So we have CBOs, CSOs, NGOs. I haven't heard you addressing anything or any funding model. For example, we reach out to young ladies, we give them reusable sanitary towels. And something that the government maybe cannot able to reach out to all those people. And you know, the future is her. And something like a period is a natural occurrence, something that has to be addressed every time and every time. So what is the government doing to ensure that something like that is addressed? Thank you.
Asante, Sylvia. We will take 4 questions. So 2, and then we add it together with this, the first 2, and then we. Okay. Sawa, tupate swali kutoka huko nyuma.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency President. My name is Musungu Nanyaka, representing Nairobi City County, and also the chairperson of Genesis Taifa Talk. My question here is, you've talked about human resource, and with the agitations that we've had with regards to the youth are agitated with matters leadership. And leadership is also an issue that regards to human resource. How are we going to ensure that the human resource are, for instance, the police and maybe some of the leaders that we have are engaging with the people, the common mwananchi, in a diplomatic way from a militant way? Like, for instance, we've had this issue where an MP from this region was planning himself to fight back to the audience that were listening to him. How are we working out on that? Thank you.
Asante Msungu, naomba tupate swali moja kutoka huko nyuma.
Okay.
Tupate jibu, alafu tutarudi tena kwenu.
Okay, I'm going to take 1 minute. My name is Lucy Wanjiro Maina from Nyandarua County, Gadanje Ward. Mine is more of a suggestion. You have said that you are taking into measures of how our youth are going to be employed. I've seen the issue of TSC. They normally roll out on yearly basis the graduates, and they have a TSC number. That way, the people who graduated earlier have more opportunities. Na hakutakuwa na ile people who are graduating this year, they are being employed as managers. Na watu wenye ambao wako na experience, they are missing out. So if there will be a system in such a way that in each year graduation, watu wanapewa rollout number. Like for instance, we have University of Nairobi, Masinde Morido. every organization, like from 2017, 2018, 2019 up to now. That way, hakutakuwa na ati hiyo yenye, if job opportunities arrive, watu wenye wali graduate kitambo wanaenda wakipeangwa hivyo. I think it will be much fair.
Thank you, Lucy.
Yes.
Let me take these questions, and then the microphone should be taken behind there for those people sitting behind there to ask their questions. So as you take the microphone behind there, let me just respond in a way to the issues already raised. My good friend, Mr. Kerr, has asked about what about professionals in other fields? And that is a very perfect question. And I want to tell you, my good friend Kerr, that as we expand the opportunities that we have as a country, you know, there are sectors that are labor intensive. And if you want to inject what you can call a stimulus into an economy, like what happened in the US during what was called the Great Recession. Let's remain orderly, please. Just what happened, Mr. Kerr, in the Great Recession in the US. They invested in public facilities, roads, infrastructure. That is where you have the opportunity to create many jobs. And that is what we are doing also in Kenya. For us to be able to deal with a youth bulge, we have to go to sectors that can help us create more opportunities. And that is why we are targeting the infrastructure sector, housing, public works, roads. Those are the sectors that create the most jobs. But that is not to say that we are ignoring professionals in other areas. As we expand the economy, as we create opportunities, programs like what we are doing in universal health coverage is going to expand the human capital that we have in the health sector. Programs that we are working in education. You've just heard Lucy say, as we hire the teachers and we are expanding the horizon in hiring teachers, we must consider those who trained earlier for opportunities so that those who trained later can come after those who trained earlier. So I agree with you, but our focus is to try and deal with the youth bulge, and that is why we are targeting sectors that can help us create more jobs than other sectors. Number two, Sylvia here has said we should think about our CBOs, our NGOs, and others who are major contributors, and they are partners of government in provision of services that government may not necessarily reach out to. I agree with you that there needs to be a partnership between government and the private sector and the civil society and community-based organizations. It is the reason why we have reorganized the NGO sector. We now have a new NGO law that would help for there to be greater interaction between government and the private sector. And as you notice, even in the process of working in housing, it is not government that is building the houses. It is the private sector that is building the houses. It's actually a collaboration between the private sector and government. And the private sector includes community-based organizations, civil society groups, but maybe there is room for us to improve our collaboration with community-based organizations and the civil society. Number three, my good friend has talked about leadership. How do we make sure that there is civil interaction between the public and the police and all the other government agencies, and making sure that we avoid unnecessary, confrontation that comes as a result of making sure that we have a civil country, I agree with you that there needs to be responsibilities, obligations for citizens, for the public, and for everybody. Everybody must have a role to play. Everybody has a contribution to make. Citizens have rights. They too have obligations. The police must have rights, but they must also have their obligations to make sure they secure the nation. So leaders must behave themselves, and so must the police. In our program, we are now undertaking the program of redressing some of the injustices that have happened in the past, and also retraining our policemen and women so that we can have better engagement between the public and our security agencies. And finally, Lucy has made a suggestion. Beatrice Inyankala, please take up the suggestion that has been given by Lucy. She has said that she has some recommendation, and I agree with her, that we need to better organize the absorption of teachers so that those who train earlier do not get stranded, while those who train later are absorbed. We should have a program where we have order in that space. Asante sana. Yeah, let me take some, yes, from behind there.
Mr. President, I have a few questions to echo. And first of all, this is the only chance I've gotten as a comrade to advise you that it is very true that if you don't listen to the voters, then 2027, you might listen to the returning officer. I'm saying this boldly as a believer of kumi bila break. So situaribi appetite, make sure you do what the voters want so that we'll celebrate you in 2027. Direct to the question. Mr. President, in Kenya, we are doing a lot of things for formality. We come, we sit, we talk, you articulate a lot of things, then shida si wewe Bwana President, shida ni watu wako wa mkono. Bwana President, watu wanasema unatenga lakini hautengi, shida ni watu wa mkono. Ita watu wako wa mkono kwa ofisi na uwapange. Ya pili sir, we are having youth-driven organization across Kenya, and we are still depending on grants and funds from other counties and overseas. Yet the government is having a lot of money. We are also pleading that we can have a platform where youth-led organization can apply for grants from the Kenyan government. Wazungu wacha niongee na president. Wacha. Wewe wacha. Bwana President, pesa iko kwa serikali yetu ya Kenya, and Kenya is very rich. Wazungu wanatuona kama omba. Yet there is a lot of money from the Kenyan government. If there are youth-led organizations that are doing youth programs, mtupe hizi pesa ili youth wapate kazi at the ground level. Ya mwisho Bwana President, mimi kama the Dean of Comrades, sisi tunaona umempower sana watu wa secondary. Unawapea free food primary hapo Nairobi. Unadhani sisi comrades tumeshiba? Bwana President, we are tired of dying in silence. Do something to the comrades across different universities. We are also starving. Ya mwisho kabisa, Bwana President, as I finish, I've tabled interest of everybody in this nation. It's now my turn to table my own interest because this is the last time I have. Mimi nimetoka all the way from Uasin Gishu, nimekuja na pikipiki. Nikirudi wewe make sure umenipanga venye unapanganga watu. On behalf of the 100 comrades that are present, asante sana.
Asante. Comrade, kabla twende kwa mwingine tusaidie, tunajua wewe ni dini wa comrades, lakini unaitwa nani?
Jina.
Your name?
Aya, mungwana huyo jina nikusikie.
Mimi naitwa Jevin Oyo Kasam.
Kasa. Okay, bwana.
The
Kasa.
believer of Raila Amolo Odinga.
Aya, asante sana.
Thank you.
That gentleman Kasa ameuliza kama maswali ine hivi. Now, let me try and respond. I agree with you, my brother Kasa, that ultimately the people of Kenya will make a decision. And the people of Kenya ultimately are the sovereign. They will make a decision on what kind of leaders they have based on whatever program those leaders have. Just I want to, the same way you have advised me, I want to tell you that as Kenyans, this is our country, and this country can be a wonderful place. I believe in Kenya. Kenya is a great country, the same way you believe in Kenya. You have said Kenya has a lot of resources, and I agree with you. It is our responsibility to make this country greater. But for us to do it, we must have a plan. And we must have an actionable plan. We have been talking in Kenya for years. Listen, housing program was in the NAC manifesto. It was never implemented. It was in the manifesto that followed. It was never implemented. The big four of Jubilee, one of them was housing. It was never implemented. That is why I have decided that I will bite the bullet and I will implement housing, create the jobs, and make sure that it works for Kenyans. So what you are saying is that leaders must match what they say with what they do. And that is exactly what I want us to do. Let me give you another example. Universal health coverage was a program under the coalition government, where my good brother Anyang' Nyong'o was the Minister for Health. It wasn't implemented. Universal health coverage was also under Ngilu in the government that followed. It was not implemented. It was one of the big four. UHT was one of the big four under Jubilee. It was never implemented. That is why I decided this time round, it is not going to be talk. It is going to be action. Today, 25 million Kenyans are registered under universal health coverage. Today, I can confirm to you that UHC is being rolled out in every constituency, in every ward in the Republic of Kenya. Again, matching word with action. And that is why I agree with you that we must get everybody to match what they say with what they do. And that is how leaders will be judged. When the time comes, judge every leader on account of their performance. What have they done? What difference have they made in Kenya? Not what community they come from, not what religion they profess, not all the other considerations, because our destination is to transform Kenya and to change our country for the better. Let me just respond to you on one matter which you said. For how long are young people or Kenyans going to apply for grants from foreign governments and foreign organizations and foreign NGOs? I agree with you. And it is the reason why we are implementing Nyota. The 50,000 shillings we are going to give as a grant for every of the 100,000 young people. In fact, we are going to spend 5 billion shillings. 50,000 for 100,000 Kenyans. That is money coming from the government of Kenya. It is not coming from an NGO. It is not coming from a foreign government. It is money belonging to the government of Kenya. All the program I have told you, the Nyota program, the one for training, the one for business development, the one for ACBO, is going to cost the government of Kenya 20 billion shillings. And that is money that the government of Kenya has provided, because it is time we took charge of our own development rather than waiting for people from outside to come and do for us what we must do. And therefore, Mr. Kasa, I have listened to you, I have taken some advice from you, and I want to tell you that I intend, and the officials here were listening to what you are saying, that they should not let me down. Yeah? These good people, the ministers, the PSS, the principal secretaries, and everybody. Sindio, you are telling them, and I'm sure they are listening, we should match what we say with what we do, and they should not let me down. And I agree with you. Iyo mambo ingine, umesema umefikaje hapa na pikipiki, so unataka kurudi aje? Bas, utaniona hapo kando nitakupanga. Bas, asanteni sana. I am sorry because I have another engagement in Homa Bay. You know, we are doing, we have a devolution conference in Homa Bay that is underway, and I'm expected there at between 1 and 2. I know this engagement, I know many young people would want to engage me so that we can have a proper, conversation between us and the young people and the future of our nation. I will provide another opportunity, Fikirini, with your team. And I'm very proud of this young man. This young man, Fikirini Jacobs, is a 29-year-old chap, and he is a principal secretary. Mpigeni makofi huyu mungwana. Sasa wewe, Fikirini, hawa vijana wenzako, don't let them down. Umesikia vile wamesema. Yeah? Don't let them down. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to work with your CS so that we can support you as you support the young people of our nation.
Thank you.
Asanteni sana, and bless you.
Haya, makofi kwa Rais. Your Excellency, we have a launch that we'd like to do before we leave, and it is the launch of the Kuna Form portal. Let's take our seats, please, kindly. Naweza tukaketi kidogo. So, Your Excellency, sir, we have just two things to do. That is the launch of the Kuna Form portal and the issuing of the check. So, with your permission, Your Excellency, I'll request that you kindly come back on stage together with the CS, the PS, Chair, Kenya National Youth Fund, and the National Youth Council, to come and now have this launch. Let's also have the launch video ready so that with that we will launch it, and after that we'll then issue the check which His Excellency has already spoken to. Okay. The buzzer.
Yes, sir. Vijana Woza. Thank you, Your Excellency, and all protocols observed. Your Excellency, a lot of the times as the council interacts with young people, they say they don't know how to access opportunities. As the council interacts with young people, the National Youth Council, a lot of them tell us they don't know how to access opportunities, ama hawajui. So under the leadership of the CS and the PS, first we build a physical copy, which is the Youth Passport to Opportunity. We try to summarize all the opportunities the young people can access. And then with the support of the PS and the CS, we were able to build a portal. Your portal inaitwa Kuna Form. Kuna Form at NYC Kenya. Once a young person logs in there, they can see a summary of all the opportunities that are available, and they can also register and share those opportunities. You go to kunaform.nyckenya.go.ke. kunaform@nyckenya.go.ke.
So we'll have the video, and I'll request that we all look at the screens, and we'll see the Kuna Form portal, which is now officially launched as from today. In 3, 2, 1, if we can have the video playing for the... Na tupige makofi tafadhali. Kuna Form portal which has job opportunities, youth programs, youth events, and skill development. The final thing we'd like to do, Your Excellency, is a presentation of the check. And if I can request the 10 youth who had been selected to kindly come, the 10 youth to come and receive the check of 163 million Kenyan shillings. This particular check, Your Excellency, is money that goes towards the job mobility, where if... Or you can do the explanation, the check.
Your Excellency. Okay. Your Excellency, this is a check of 163 million Kenyan shillings supporting young people who are uptaking opportunities abroad. Your Excellency, that money is supporting 816 young people who are qualified to go out there and work. Thank you, Your Excellency.